everyone, and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be reacting to the first radio jingle ever. But before we get into the reaction, let's talk about what the jingle was anyways. Let's go back to 1924 when General Mills, formerly known as Washburn Crosby, introduced their very first cereal. Initially known as Washburn's Gold Medal Whole Wheat Flakes, the name was dropped a year later for Wheaties. Even if you, like me, have never tried Wheaties, I'm sure you're familiar with the bright orange box on cereal shelves at the store. But why was Wheaties the subject of the very first radio jingle? In the first 2 years of the cereal's existence, it wasn't very popular. The 1920s marked the beginning of commercial radio, and radio revolutionized the way Americans consumed media. While some people wanted to call it quits with the cereal, the company's vice president, Donald Davis, suggested doing a radio campaign for the cereal. The radio station's publicity man wrote the jingle, and they got a vocal quartet to sing the song. They were Jim Elliott, the quartet manager who was an undertaker, William R. Hoppenrath, who worked in the printing industry, Ernie Johnson, who was connected with a grain company, and Phil Smith, a bailiff in municipal port, who could also yodel. Will there be yodeling in the song? I have no idea. It says, each week for 3 years, the quartet sang the Wheaties jingle, getting paid $15, which is the equivalent of $200 in today's money. The reason they performed it live was because practical recording equipment had not yet been invented. I was a little confused about that at first because the first sound recording, I believe, was recorded in 1857, and then Thomas Edison also invented more sound recording equipment in the 1870s or 1880s. So when I looked up some more, it looked like recording equipment just wasn't, like they said, it wasn't that practical and high quality, so in this case it was just easier to perform things live. But in 1929, Wheaties sales were still falling. They were only selling about half as much as they were 2 years prior to that. The company was planning to give up on their cereal experiment and move on when someone from the advertising department suggested that they try to do a national campaign using the jingle. More than 60% of their sales for Wheaties were coming from the area where their radio jingle was being broadcast. According to their site, it says the board agreed and Wheaties launched a national campaign. Sales soared. It's crazy that a jingle could make so much difference in whether or not people were buying a particular cereal, but now it's finally time to check out this jingle and see how good it really was. Let's check it out.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran. Won't you try Wheaties? For wheat is the best food of man. They're crispy and crunchy the whole year through. The kiddies never tire of them, and neither will you. So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land.
Sorry, I was looking at the lyrics. Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all the bran. Won't you try Wheaties? For wheat is the best food of man. So many people are gluten-free now. That is a terrible line. Back in the 1920s, maybe everyone wasn't because of the lack of pesticides and Roundup but they were spraying arsenic on stuff back then, weren't they? Maybe not wheat. Anyways, they're crispy and crunchy the whole year through. Are some cereals not crispy and crunchy the whole year? The kiddies never tire of them, and neither will you. That's a pretty good line. So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. There is no yodeling. There's no yodeling in this commercial. I wonder what other cereals were available back then. Okay, according to this website about cereal, here are the cereals that were available. The Raisin Bran, Wheat Bix, and Wheatina were all introduced in 1926. Wheaties were released in 1924. They had Bran Flakes and Pep cereal in 22. They had Quakies, crumbled bran cereal, Corn Flakes, shredded crumbles. So Kellogg's is already out here with their cereal. Corn Flakes began in 1906. Interesting to see what types of cereals were there. This is MrBreakfast.com, by the way. I'd never heard of it until just now when I looked up the cereals that were available in 1926. So, that was Wheaties, the very first jingle ever to air on the radio. Apparently this commercial was really impactful and made a lot of people want to buy the product Wheaties. Would it make you want to buy Wheaties? Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.
Bye, bye, bye. It's time to say goodbye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. It's time to go. Time's up, we're all done. Time for me to run. Bye, bye, bye.